Welcome to your 20-minute podcast with David Brower, where we do our best to give you useful information in 20 minutes or less. Now, here's your host, 5-time Voice Arts Awards nominee, David Brower.
Thanks, Ellen. This is David Brower with your 20-minute podcast. Our special guest today from Lexington, Kentucky is Z. Newell. Now, Z is an active, inspirational speaker and author, certified life coach, Kentucky's first certified passion test facilitator, and certified Enlightened Alliances business consultant. His 30-plus years of entrepreneurship and 15-plus years of senior-level experience serving and managing hundreds of loyal clients serves as an experimental base to building strong consumer-based strategies. Z, it's a pleasure to have you on the show, man. I bet you've never been called Zoo before.
Oh, I've been called a lot of things, David. Yeah, it's just Z, just Z like the letter Z.
That's right. Yeah. Just Z. You got the one thing like Madonna. It's just Z.
Right.
I love your website, the videos, the graphics. You go to the website, folks, and it's Z Newell Inspires.
Right, just the letter Z, not Z.
Exactly.
So Z and yeah.
Just the letter Z. So when you first get there, there's an inspirational, educational, and entertaining icon there that's on fire. And in one of your videos, you use some fire as well. Tell me about the what that does. What's the purpose of that other than people going, what the hell is he doing?
Yeah. Well, fire's a big thing for me. You know, I'm a fire sign. I'm a Leo, but for me, it represents passion. And yeah, I used to do magic, so I like to wow my audiences and get their attention. So I light that book on fire. Well, it lights itself on fire. But the idea really here that I wanted to focus on a little bit today, because there's a lot of different directions I could go, but I work with a lot of small businesses and entrepreneurs, can work with larger businesses and companies as well. But right now I'm trying to focus in 3 categories of people, those being people who want to start up a business, people who have other sources of employment. They've always dreamed of having a business. They don't know where to start.
Right.
Or people who have small businesses and they want to grow them, but they're not sure about how to create an inspirational leadership, or people who are mature business owners that want to transform their relationship to their business and take it to a different level. So, but all of those things involve the same thing, which essentially my second book here, Ignite Your Magnificence, is about. Now, this book is not particularly about the business application. My next book will be, but this book addresses the core idea that there are really 2 things that are important in life and in business. And this is from my humble 62 years on the planet.
There you go.
One is passion. That's the fire. Yeah. Now, what I'm talking about here is, I'm talking about really accessing the things that you're passionate about, and then digging even deeper to find out what the core values are that those things represent. So let me just give you an example.
Okay.
It's non-business. You could, a lot of people they love to be out in nature. They like to hike or fish or do something out in nature. Now, so they're passionate. They might say, I'm passionate about fly fishing, right? But what is it that really is underneath that, okay? And I would say in this example, what's underneath that is a core value of attaining some kind of inner peace. When you're out there and it's just you and the birds or the fish or whatever, there's something that happens. I think most people listening probably know what I'm talking about. And
absolutely.
So here's the thing. Let's say you understand that, that's really important to me, achieving a state of inner peace. Now, take that core value back into the workplace. Maybe there's a lot of conflict in your workplace, or maybe there's a little conflict with you and some other person. I'm just, again, trying to apply a small example.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you dig down and understand that in your life, what's really important to you is achieving some state of inner peace, you might approach that person or that situation in a different way and say, how can I get to that state with this person? Okay, how can I work this conflict resolution or whatever it is, so that in my workplace, I can experience a small piece of that same value that's so important to me in my life.
So when somebody's out there fishing, they find that inner peace, do they really know what they're looking for? I mean, if we're if we're going 125 miles an hour and we're, what have you done for me lately? And I don't have time to take my kids to school, but I'm going to go out and fish just to get away from everybody and everything. What kind of process does it take for somebody to really understand and take a sincere look inside to find what that means?
Well, that's a great question, and I'll give you the short answer, and it's not a simple one, but there's two main elements that I talk about in Ignite Your Magnificence and that I use in my, I call it MQformula solutions.
Mm-hmm.
And MQ, by the way, is our magnificence quotient, our internal, you have IQ, everybody knows about EQ, which is emotional intelligence. MQ is my concept, and it's registered trademark and all that, but it talks about our internal magnificence quotient, and what that has to do is combining two things. One, the passion we just talked about,
right,
and figuring out what's underneath, and two, self-awareness, which comes from Daniel Goleman's emotional intelligence. The importance of self-awareness in the workplace and emotional quotient, or your capacity, your emotional intelligence, has become more and more important over the last decade or two, in Google and places like that.
Yeah.
People rise up to manage a team because they're a good engineer or something. They have no people skills and no concept of how to deal with them.
The other word that comes out a lot in the past few years is mindfulness, right? So trying to figure out a way to be mindful about yourself, your surroundings, your employee, all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, it's another word for it. We're talking about essentially the same thing. But back to your question, which is how do you get this fishing thing into your, when you're running 125 miles an hour?
Mm-hmm.
I will say this, there are different ways of doing that, but the most important step is becoming aware of what's going on or what's not going on for you. So, for example, you're going 125 miles an hour, your kids are screaming in the back seat. You've got to develop the self-awareness muscle. In my book, I call it the Watcher. I have two books out. The first one's fiction, the other one's nonfiction, but they really talk about the same thing. How do you develop this Watcher that is your self-awareness so that the first step in driving down the road is, damn, I'm going 125 miles an hour in my head, hopefully not in the car with kids in it, and my kids are getting on me, and I can feel myself getting worked up.
Yep.
Now, here's what happens. Whether you're anxious or worked up or angry or sad, whatever it is, as soon as you step outside of yourself just enough to pause and realize that you're moving to that state, that's the first step. Then you have to dive back into your heart and say, what is it that I really want? So when you find yourself in the workplace stressed or anxious or with your kids in the back seat, you can bring yourself, you notice what's happening, your Watcher notices the state you're in, because in that act of noticing, in that split second, what you're really doing is stepping away from yourself, and as you do that, you're going to detach just a little bit and lessen the level of anxiety or anger or sadness or whatever it is that you have just by noticing it. You remove yourself just a little bit, and the more you practice this, the easier it is to do it.
Makes perfect sense, and that being aware and practicing has got to be the key, right?
Well, it is, but I want to just say one more thing, which is, a lot of people say, well, meditation, like Google lets people, have meditation sessions during their workday, which is awesome, but most people do not have that opportunity.
Right.
The key to meditation, for me, I'm a regular meditator, is, you go set yourself in a room where conditions are perfect, everything's quiet, there's no distractions, so you can reach that deep state of calm and nothingness, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
But the key is to be able to access that state in the middle of the storm, okay? So basically, you need to, you become self-aware, then you dive back into your heart to say, what is it that's really important to me? And the example I'm using, it's the inner peace. So picture it this way. Your heart is where your heart-sourced vision starts. I'm talking if it's business vision, personal vision about a relationship, it doesn't matter.
Right.
Picture a giant V. The V starts in your heart. That's your vision. and it goes outward to infinity. Anything is possible, all the positive thinkers and everything.
Right.
So what is it I want to accomplish in my perfect world? What would the universe look like? My relationships, my business, etc. Here's what happens. When that V goes up and hits like your head, there's this umbrella that all of a sudden starts screening and bouncing back. And that is your fear, your self-doubt, and your limiting beliefs. So those things are like an umbrella over your head that is preventing your vision from going out. So when you have that moment of self-awareness, you're not going to solve all your problems in that split second. But what you are going to do is you're going to take that umbrella and you're going to say, oh, that's my self-doubt, that's my fear, that's my anxiousness, that's my anger, and just tip that umbrella aside so your heart's vision can move upward just a little bit more.
That's a great visual, by the way. I think that's something that anybody can easily pick up on and visualize and go, okay, umbrella. It's got all my bad stuff in it. I'm turning it upside down for a minute so I can look at the good stuff.
Yeah, and really what my book, Ignite Your Magnificence, it's on Amazon and Barnes & Noble also. What it's really about is, I call them micro aha moments.
Love
and
it.
The formula, which I won't go into, is but AHA. It's about awareness, heart source vision, and the action in your life. Aha. What happens is if you can learn to capture yourself, see yourself, catch yourself in these micro aha moments when you're about to lose it through anxiety, stress, anger, whatever, you can change the possibilities that are right in front of you. The possibility of your relationship with that other person, the possibility of something that's happening in your business or with your kids.
All right.
It's a micro aha moment. You don't have to have these mind-blowing major aha moments that people talk about typically where your whole life changes.
Right.
No, it's right around us in every minute, but we're so busy at running at 125 miles an hour that we don't capture it.
It makes me wonder if the micro aha moment is nothing more, and not to minimize it, but nothing more than, I just got to catch my breath for a second, make sure I'm looking at this properly, and then move forward.
Yes, exactly. It's pushing pause on everything that's happening. There's many different ways to say what I'm saying. So mine is a different framework about MQ. You have your own internal compass. Stop comparing yourself to other people.
True.
And just focus on where you've been, where you are, and where you want to go. So, what I do a lot of is coaching people, personally or in their businesses, to get them to move past the limiting beliefs, the fear, and the self-doubt that's holding them back from building their business or moving forward in their life. And actually, all of that is not even on my website, but you can go to the znewellinspires.com and get a hold of me, and I can help you.
I think too that what you're saying about helping startups, entrepreneurs, medium, large businesses, whatever, I think everything that you're talking about is just absolutely critical to team building, right? I mean, as your business grows and you develop more and more people inside, you've got to make sure that everybody's on the same team. And so,
right. That's exactly it.
Do you do that too? Do you do team building?
Yes. Well, it starts with inspirational leadership,
right,
which starts with your own ability to know your passion and purpose and have them in alignment. And if you can get your passion and purpose in alignment, and it's strong enough and high enough, and attach that to other people's similar core values, I mean, that's what creates company culture. Yeah. That's what creates customers and clients who want to be a part of what you want to be. We all know there's companies like Zappos that just have an amazing magnetic attraction. There's businesses that you rave about. You want to be in their fan club. That's
right.
Because they have a higher purpose that you're relating to. And that's when businesses blow up. 40 years ago, I started my first business this fall, an organic vegetarian restaurant in Chicago, the Blind Faith Cafe. It's going to be 40 years old. And we had a higher vision of teaching people they could eat healthy without meat. And that's what's kept it going for 40 years, because other people got on board.
Yeah.
It's not because we were super entrepreneurs. It's because we had a clear vision and other people wanted to be a part of it. But getting that clarity from the beginning, whatever level, if you're a single business owner or a small team, and then it's learning how to inspire yourself automatically, it will help with your team building and your inspirational leadership skills. It will help to create that bigger culture that will then move your business to the next level.
Makes sense. One of the things on your site, it says how to love giving your all in life and work. And then in the video right underneath that, it says, are you ready to ignite your passion? I mean, you're asking all the powerful questions to get people's attention, and that's a brilliant approach. I'm sure it works great for you.
Well, and it's the passion of you and the passion of your team, and you have to learn how to allow their passions to enter into the picture, because guess what? If you're trying to hang on to doing it all yourself, you're never going, you must rely on the magnificence and the skills and the creativity of other people, and allow that to come into play in a bigger picture. You know, let go of your ego and let the thing take off for itself.
That's how your restaurant took off and lasted for 40 years, because you followed your own advice.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. And I've had a bunch of other businesses since, and you know, it's all the same thing. It's you have to start from your internal leadership, your internal you know, compass and ability to become self-aware. So if you're dealing with a team member and that team member happens to remind you of your big brother who used to bully you, you have got to get a handle on that right away, that self-awareness. What is it about this guy that bothers me? And then you realize that's big brother that used to bully you, and you in turn are about to bully that employee. Okay, it's that simple.
Yep.
You've got to get a handle on yourself if you really want to truly become an inspirational leader. So I'm really teaching people how to become inspirational leaders. That's really one of the things that I'm passionate about. Yeah.
We only got a couple of minutes left, and I want to make sure that people know how to get to your website, because, folks, there's tons and tons of information on here where you can have those micro aha moments, and maybe even a big one as well. And it's the letter Z, NewellInspires.com. And you can learn about him. You can watch videos. He's got a video blog. You can get his book, which is on Amazon and Barnes & Noble, Ignite Your Magnificence, the MQformula for discovering passion, purpose, and power in your life.
But you can also email me, just the letter Z at znewellinspires.com, and I'm happy to talk to you if you're interested.
Outstanding.
So thank you for the opportunity to share some of these ideas. It's a simple framework, but it's very powerful. It's helped me a lot in my life. As I tell people, it took me 62 years to write this book, Ignite Your Magnificence, and I'm hoping that there's one or two pieces in there that people resonate with and say, wow, you know, I should try that.
Absolutely right.
And it will help.
Absolutely. And again, folks, go to the website, drop him an email, but there's a lot of information there that you need to take some time with. Z, thank you so much. Continued success in Lexington, Kentucky, and I hope your magnificent quotient continues to grow.
All right. Thank you, David. Have a great day.
Listen to your 20-minute podcast with David Brower on the go. Downloads are available on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify, any podcast app, and on our website at davidbrowervo.com/your20-minute podcast. Until next time, thank you for listening.